the discourse that we hear today is that now it's Africa's turn, because Africa was bypassed by the Green Revolution. Well, Africa was not bypassed. The Green Revolution failed in Africa miserably. And the proof of the pie is that the CGIR, the Consultative Group on International Agricultural Research, invested something like a little over a third of its budget every year for 20 years in Africa, attempting to advance the Green Revolution, and it failed. They couldn't do it. And then what happened was, everything became privatized. The Green Revolution was advanced largely on the basis of public monies. So this was, the Ford and the Rockefeller foundations, as Miguel pointed out, sort of primed the pump for the campaign, but at the end of the day, it was tax dollars, public monies, which basically engaged in the biopiracy of collecting all of the peasant seeds and all of their genetic material and putting them into the seed bank, and then making the hybrids and then selling them back to the peasants, right? That was all public money. That public money dried up. And so what happened in Africa was, with the structural adjustment programs, which privatized everything, and there were no state services then to extend credit, there were no extension services to teach people how to use fertilizers and apply the new seeds and whatnot anymore. After 20 years, when all of the public funding dries up and then private money comes in and takes over everything, basically no one wants to pay. And so the Green Revolution completely falls apart as it collapses. All the programs for the Green Revolution collapse. And so now what's being said is, well, you see, there's been no investment in agriculture. Africa didn't get a chance. Now it's Africa's turn. Now Africa got the chance. It didn't work. And it didn't work because of the tremendous diversity of soils and conditions in Africa. And with the new Green Revolution in Africa, which is primarily financed by the Gates Foundation, and their project, AGRA, Alliance for a Green Revolution in Africa. The idea is that, okay, we're going to do it differently this time. We're going to provide them with microdoses of fertilizer, and we're going to make sure that they add organic material to their soils, right? So that the fertilizers under those fragile conditions don't burn up all the organic matter, and then you lose the fertility. And you keep applying more and more and more fertilizer, and pretty soon you go broke. The problem is severalfold. You get credit not to make a compost heap. You get credit not to incorporate green manures. You get credit to buy fertilizer and buy seed. So we're expected to have this integrated soil fertility program, which incorporates all kinds of organic material into the soil, but no one's going to pay for that. This has to come out of the sweat of the peasants. But we will give you money for fertilizer. We will give you money for the new seed. So this is the new Green Revolution, and they're hoping it's going to work because they have all kinds of these agro dealers, which they spread out across the country, which are going to provide all the inputs and the advice. Well, I worked in soil conservation and water conservation in Latin America for 20 years, and I know that an agro dealer is not going to provide that kind of advice. That kind of advice moves from farmer to farmer, campesino to campesino. That's where the movement was born. Basically addressing the two largest limitations to production. You know what they are? It's not magnesium, it's not even nitrogen. It's not some obscure pest. It's soil and water. If you build your soil and you conserve your water, you will get increases in productivity on these fragile lands of 100, 200, and 300%. It's that simple. That's what we should be financing.